Hey everybody, welcome to the Gauche. I am your host, Zaiden. It is just after 12 midnight, and we have a lot to unpack this evening. This has kind of been a little bit of an urgent story that's been popping lately, and I've been told it's been covered by a couple of channels already, so I just kind of found it on accident, to be honest with you, when I was doing some searching online. So whatever channel has covered it so far, respect to you, but I'm gonna go ahead and cover it here this evening, tonight. So if you like what you see and you want more of it, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. It does help with our channel and this community to grow. So those algorithms are always important, of course, when it comes to YouTube. Other stuff to talk about is we may be talking, or she may uncover, or I should say, Britney Spears, when she talks about in her her podcast on YouTube, which we're going to be talking about that, and just we're going to listen to what she has to say here in a few moments. Could be a little graphic in nature, so if anybody is sensitive to any of that, just know that that could be a thing that could happen here going forward this evening. I will open up video lines tonight if we have enough coming in for video calls. Just kind of share your feelings on the subject, and maybe we'll talk a little bit too about the MTV Awards, music awards tonight too. So with that said, I'll go ahead and dive right into everything, starting right after this. Hey everybody, welcome to the Ghost. So today we're gonna go ahead, or say tonight, who's still awake out there? Press one out there. You're still awake. If you're awake but sleeping kind of like a zombie, maybe press 2. If you still have coffee in your hand, press 3. Feel like one of those video recordings, like, please, if you want to go to this department, plus press the number 7. So thank you everybody for joining in. So we're gonna get right to it here. I'm gonna go ahead and play the podcast that Brittany put out there earlier today. I think it's kind of an eye-opener. She speaks about her conservatorship that her family and her had such a battle with for at least 15 years. She kind of talks a little bit about the abusive nature of what she had to go through. So again, trigger warnings for you guys out there, and graphic in nature is possible as well. But with that said, I'll go ahead and get things started, and then after the video or the audio, we'll go ahead and open up the lines. So let's go ahead and get right to it.
Okay, so I woke up this morning and I realized that there's a lot going on in my head that I haven't really shared with anyone really. And I've had tons of opportunities, Oprah, interviews, to go on a platform and share hardships or just really anything that's going on in my mind, and I really don't think any of that is relevant to getting paid to tell your story. I feel like it's kind of silly. So I'm here honestly just to open myself to others and try to shed a light on if anyone out there has ever gone through hardships or whatever it is, just to put a light on it, and so that person doesn't feel alone, because I really know what that feels like. I haven't honestly shared this openly too as well, because I've always been scared of the judgment and definitely the embarrassment of the whole thing, period, and the skepticism and the cynical people of what and their opinions of what people would actually think. I do think I'm in a place now where I'm a little bit more confident that I can be willing to share openly my thoughts and what I've been through, because I haven't really had that outlet to share completely openly for so long, just scared of judgments, thoughts of other people and what they think or what they may say. And I think it's crucial for my heart and my head to be able to speak openly about it as if anyone else would. Well, the actual conservatorship actually started, I think, 15 to 16 years ago. I was 25 when it started. I was extremely young. I remember a lot of my friends texting me and calling me, and we were extremely close, and they wanted to see me, but by what had happened, I honestly still to this day don't know what really I did, but the punishment of my father, I wasn't able to, see anyone or like anything. And you have to imagine none of it made sense to me. I literally spoke in a British accent to a doctor to prescribe my medication, and 3 days later, there was a swap team in my home, 3 helicopters, and I remember my mom's best friend and my 2 girlfriends. We had a sleepover the night before. They held me down on a gurner. And again, none of it made sense. Literally, the extent of my madness was playing chess with, when it was playing chase with paparazzi, which is still to this day one of the most fun things I ever did about being famous. So I don't know what was so harmful about that. But I remember my mom was sitting on the couch and she said, "We've heard people are coming here today to talk to you. We should probably go, to a hotel or something." And I never really understood what she meant. I didn't believe her. Like, is a lawyer coming here? Who is coming here? Then 4 hours later, there were over 200 paparazzi outside my house videotaping me through a window of an ambulance, holding me down on a gurner. I know now it was all premeditated. A woman introduced the idea to my dad, and my mom actually helped him follow through and made it all happen. It was all basically set up. There was no drugs in my system, no alcohol, nothing. It was pure abuse. And I haven't even really shared even half of it. I think the main thing I do remember when it started was my dad's control. He loved to control everything I did. I remember the first day he said, "I'm Britney Spears and I'm calling the shots." And I'm like, alrighty then. My brother was a football player. My dad was really, really hard on him when he was younger, really abusive. And I think when my mom gave him the idea for the conservatorship and his friend, I think he just really regrouped it and made such a really, really overhauling big deal out of it. And it was just really too much. I remember him always being in the office, and my girlfriend was his assistant, and they would just stay in there all day with the door shut, and I was never ever able to leave or go anywhere. My first job after the 2 weeks of being hospitalized and completely traumatized out of my mind, I did a TV show called How I Met Your Mother, and then I started working on an album called Circus, and started working away right away. All I do remember is I had to do what I was told. I was told I was fat every day. I had to go to the gym. I had to and I never remember feeling so demoralized, and they made me feel like nothing. And I went along with it because I was scared. I was scared and fearful. I didn't even really do anything. And I had a swap team and none of it made sense to me. So since that day, I did probably 4.5 tours. I did an album, Circus, Femme Fatale, Britney Jean, and Glory. And then I started doing a Vegas show in Las Vegas, and I did that for 4.5 years. I do remember working, and I got to a point where, because my pride in my 30s, I have to live under my father's rules, and, the dancers are playing and drinking and having fun at nights in Vegas, and I couldn't do anything. And I remember just being my performances, I know, were horrible. I even wore wigs and all the dancers were doing all these nice, sexy head flip turns, and I had conditioner treatment in my hair and like these little caps over my head, and just during a whole show getting conditioner treatments just with wigs on, because I was just like a robot. Honestly, I didn't give a fuck anymore, because I couldn't go where I wanted to go. I couldn't have the nannies that I wanted to have. I couldn't have cash. And it was just demoralizing. So I was kind of like in this conspiracy thing of people claiming and like treating me like a superstar, but yet they treated me like nothing. Well, for some reason, I started to get a spark back. I remember recording Glory, and for some reason, I think producing and making music, and I went to this little Spanish house, and I got the fire back in my eyes for some reason, and it was at the end of recording Glory, and my son named it, and things started kind of taking a turn because I started getting more confidence just for myself. And I think with confidence, people kind of like, oh, wait, what's going on now? Like, she's speaking up a little bit more, but it might not be particularly a good thing if I'd been quiet for 15 years. I think with confidence comes enlightenment, which makes you think better. And that's the last thing they wanted me to do, was to actually be better, because then who would be in control then? But it was really tricky because I had to just play this role that everything was okay all the time, and I had to go along with it because I knew they could hurt me. So I'm sitting here like my friends all drinking alcohol and having fun in these parties, and had no cash. I literally felt like a nun. My girlfriends from home came to visit me in a spa, and I couldn't even walk into the spa, and they had their feet doing pedicures in the water, and the 3 ices of bottles of champagnes before my show just sitting there, and I wasn't even acknowledged by them, my own hometown friends, when they would come to Vegas. And it was just it was demoralizing, I will say. You also have to understand, it's like, 15 years of touring and doing shows, and I'm 30 years old under my dad's rules, and all of this is going on, and my mom's witnessing this, and my brother is witnessing, and my friends are witnessing it, and they all go along with it. And I'm like, how am I the one working here and doing all this, but I don't get the side things that, the good stuff, I want to be able to play. I want to be able to have fun. Like, none of it made sense to me. Well, the last show in Vegas ended 2017. I went on tour, which of tour I was forced to do, but I was supposed to do a new show. So the new show came along. I rehearsed, I think, maybe 4 days ago. I don't really remember, but I went to one of the rehearsals, and I said no to a dance move. I was like, no, can we do that? I don't want to do this. And then I just remember everything got really weird and quiet, and all the directors and producers went in the back room and just spoke. And that was it. And I was like, well, I don't know what's going on. So we all just kind of like, what happened? And then the next day, I was told that I had to be sent away to a facility, and that I was supposed to say on my Instagram the reason why is because my dad is sick and I need treatment, which was, I didn't want to ever go there. I remember my dad calling me on the phone, and I was crying, and I was like, why are you guys doing this? Like, what? And I just remember him saying, it's not in your hands. You have to listen to the doctors. The doctors are going to tell you what to do. I can't help you now. And I remember his last words were, now, you don't have to go, but if you don't go, we're going to go to court, and there'll be a big trial, and you're going to lose. I have way more people on my side than you. You don't even have a lawyer, so don't even think about it. So I did it. I went to the place. I was scared out of my mind. And none of it, again, made any sense of what they were doing to me. And again, I haven't wanted to share this because it's unbelievably offensive, sad, abusive. And honestly, would anybody believe me? I remember the main thing of when I was in that place, that my heart felt like it was frozen, like it was stuck inside, and I wanted to scream and I wanted to get out. And I think by a needle and thread, It was the breathing peacefully inward that I missed the most. I felt like I was in a state of shock, almost like when an old person feels helpless and they're literally going through some sort of shock treatment and they can't relax their body because they don't have the answers of why they can't have their own keys to their car and put it in the ignition and walk outside, and their own security guards at every door saying they can't go. Sitting down, drawing 6 galls of blood every week. Weak as hell. And then calling, and my family is in Destin at my beach house. It didn't make sense. The main thing I to this day, I kind of stopped believing in God at that time because I didn't know how they could have 40 people leave my house a day and me work from 8 to 6 at night. Be seen changed every time I changed in the shower. No privacy, no door, nothing. How did they get away with it? And what the fuck did I do to deserve that? I couldn't even smoke cigarettes. People on death row can smoke cigarettes. I missed my AA meetings. Although I was kind of forced to go to AA, and I'm not even an alcoholic, I actually enjoyed it because I thought the people were brilliant. They shared their stories just to share their story, and in a circle of women and men who just are trying to be better people and trying to touch other people. I missed my AA meetings. I couldn't go in. I couldn't have the keys to my car, no cash, no cigarettes, no door for privacy. It changed me, watched me change naked every day. I did work 7 days a week. No weekends were off. They monitored what I ate. From 8 to 6, I work. Sometimes at 9 o'clock, I'd be able to watch a movie. Finally, the owner of the whole facility that I was always texting to try to be able to go somewhere, just get out of the house, that place somehow, he had to let me go because the Free Britney campaign came out. With all the pink t-shirts. I saw it on a lot of the morning shows, and people by word of mouth, and I think just by my fans knowing by heart that something was up. I remember one of the guys were on an interview on the street, and he said, you know what, I could be totally wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll be really, really embarrassed, and I'll just go have a drink somewhere. He said, but I do feel like they're doing something to her right now, and I'm not surely what it is, but that's what my heart says. But the whole thing that made it really confusing for me is these people are on the street fighting for me, but my sister and my mother aren't doing anything. To me, it was like they secretly, honestly liked me being the bad one, like I was messed up, and they kind of just liked it that way. Otherwise, why weren't they outside my doorstep saying, baby girl, get in the car, let's go? I think that's the main thing that hurt me. I couldn't process how my family went along with it for so long. And I mean, almost half a year, you know? And their only response was, we didn't know. I'm like, I'm on the phone telling you right now, I'm here, please. Eventually, by the grace of God and praying on my knees, I left the place. But I was still scared. I was really, really scared. And from then on, I had support. I needed a lot of support. And I found 2 really, really great people that would come to my house weekly and just help me with my mind, because I didn't understand all the therapy that I had to do there. But why have therapy when it's forced and in like a militant, almost prison-like way that like is where you're not even all there? None of it made sense. Well, I think my strength grew because I didn't reach out to my dad anymore. And they were playing the game of ball and twist of, you know, she's going to come running back to us because, you know, we've scared her and we're the bosses here. But I didn't. I just stalled, and I stalled, and I stalled, and I stalled. And finally, I think they just knew I wasn't going back. And I finally got a lawyer. A wonderful friend finally got me a lawyer. And he really helped me through it. To me, the thing was, I think the trauma of all of it and just the whole thing together and going down to how much effort and work and heart I put in to what I did when I did work, even down to the details of how many rhinestones are going to be in my costume. And I cared so much. And they literally killed me. They threw me away. That's what I felt. I felt like my family threw me away. I was performing for like thousands of people at night in Vegas, the rush of being a performer, the laughter, the joy, the respect. I was shaking over 40 people's hands every night before a show, training weekly, 3 training sessions a week, AA meetings, therapy sessions. My dad literally, I was a machine. I was a fucking machine. Not even human, almost. It was insane how hard I worked. And the one time I speak up and say no in a rehearsals to a fucking dance move, they got pissed. I feel like the scare tactic and how badly they treated me in the end, I think they thought I was going to come begging back to work again because they thought, I needed them. Because they put me in an ignorant, scared state of mind to make me feel like I needed them. And if you don't do what we say, we're going to show you who's boss. I didn't play their game anymore. I got on my knees every day and I prayed. I held on like a needle and thread to some sort of existence because they had made me feel like nothing for so long. I knew in the deepest part of my core, I knew I'd done nothing wrong and I didn't deserve the way I'd been treated. I do think the hardest thing for me was I wanted to use my feet and leave and run or go somewhere. I had to be placed in a chair from like 8 to 6 every day. I couldn't take it. I talked to rabbis. I've talked to grown men about it, and they're like, we don't see how you did it. Honestly, I don't either. And through that, I remember saying, I don't believe in God anymore. I honestly deserve an award for acting like I was okay every day. I thought they were trying to fucking kill me. I remember one time I was backstage and I needed my inhaler. And I opened up to my assistant because I had my phone with me, which I'm not supposed to have my phone underneath the stage. But I said to her, you know what I'm doing. I was talking to a guy and he wanted to just leave the country with me. We had it all set up to just leave. And it was a secret relationship. And I said, my biggest fear was, what would my dad do if I did do something wrong? What if I left the country? And what if they found me? And what would they do? And I said, I feel like they would lock me up or something or really hurt me. And she looked at me and she said, are you kidding me, Brittany? Your dad would never do that to you. And I didn't even do anything wrong, and he still did it. I'm honestly more angry at my mom because I heard when reporters would call her at the time and ask questions of what was going on, she would go innocently hide in the house and she wouldn't speak up. It was always like, I don't know what to say. I just don't want to say the wrong thing. We're praying for her. I feel like she could have gotten me a lawyer in literally 2 seconds. My friend helped me get one in the end, but every time I made contact with a firm, my phone was tapped and they would take my phone away from me. And again, I get nothing out of sharing all of this. I have offers to do interviews with Oprah and so many people, lots of money, but it's insane. I don't want any of it. For me, it's beyond a sit-down proper interview. I had no contact in that place for so long, and my heart would just want to stand up in my family's faces and scream and cry and throw a tantrum and go back in time and do exactly what I wanted to do at those times. Yeah, and might even spit in their fucking faces. Why? Because the pain my family gave me, sitting me there all day and not being able to use my feet, as they watch their grandchildren run bases to base in a family neighborhood as if I'm dead or I don't exist, honestly makes me look up and say, how the fuck did they get away with it? How is there a God? Is there a God giving 8 galls of blood weekly, not being able to stand up. I was so weak. And my family's at my beach house. I was scared, broken. I'm sharing this because I want people to know I'm only human. I do feel victimized after these experiences. And how can I mend this if I don't talk about it? I have an amazing song right now with one of the most brilliant men of our time. And I'm so grateful. But if you're a weird introvert, oddball like me, who feels alone a lot of the time, and you needed to hear a story like this today so you don't feel alone, know this, my life has been far from easy, and you're not alone.
I gotta unpack that just for a second. That I have a lot of things going through my head right now. That was actually my first time really listening to it all the way through. Anger. A lot of us are triggered because there's a number of us that's been out there in a controlling relationship situation, whether it's parental, relationship, family, friends, whatever the case may be, peer pressure, you name it. Wow. This one hit me hard. I wish I had listened to this all the way through a couple of times before doing this, but that's okay. This needed to be shared. This is a very, wow, very, very strong testimony. It takes such amazing strength and endurance to have to go through at least 15 years of this nonsense. And I want to speak to the morals on how we can sorry guys. Trying to hold it together here. So let me go ahead and talk more about the morals of parental morals. To be a mother and to be loving to your child should be natural. It takes courage to get over greed and nonsense that you think is good for you, but damages your entire family. This is where my anger comes into place. And frankly, and you guys, you've never seen me this mad, I'm sure. So you're going to see it today. What pisses me off the most is when you have a father and a helpless daughter who's coming through Disney and all this attention. You're supposed to be there to protect her, not control her, not control her money, not control everything, because that's what goes into your pocket or into your ego. Frankly, that is so sinful to the point that I have to pray that you don't get burned 20 times over in hell for it. I'm a Christian, and I haven't been this angry in a long time. So, man, that just pisses me off. When you have a dipstick of a father like that utterly controls your emotions, your movement, everything you do, your friends, your conversations, how you spend your cash, your money, how you communicate on your cell phone, how you go out in the public, how you do everything that you need to do just to stay sane. This is the definition of insane. If Britney's father was listening to this right now, mano y mano, my friend. Someone needs to put you in check. And basically slap the ego right out of you and then instill some morals. If it takes, I don't want to instill any kind of physical harm or anything, so let's not do that. But I know a lot of us, man, we are pushing envelopes tonight. So let's try to hold composure. I do not want to encourage that. But I can tell you this much. I hope that her father takes a good look in the mirror. And quite frankly, a mirror in a 5x5 cell in at least 15 years of it, just to counter what the flip that Britney just had to go through for 15 plus years. He deserves at least that. That's the consequences that he deserves, minimum. And I mean minimum. He needs to understand what he did wrong. And the only way to do it is if he understands the consequences of his sinful action. I'm going to add to this. Her family. Your family. You got a brother and a sister who's trying to play passive, I don't want to get in the middle of it. And a mother who's encourages this nonsense. This is the most unbelievable, unloving family I've ever witnessed in my entire life. I've seen some crap. I've seen some stuff. But man, this is utterly the worst I've seen ever. And if some of you may know, I've actually had a situation which I had a domestic controlling whatever, you know what that means, but and I had to go through that for a few years, and that was it's like minute compared to what she just went through, Britney, and for 15 straight years of this. So I have to applaud Britney here. Now, this is where I'm going to say I applaud her. I applaud her strength. I applaud her endurance. I applaud the fact that she's actually sane enough to have a reasonable discussion about what she went through on a podcast. It sounded like it was slightly edited, but, you know, still, the point was definitely made. And I'm going to say God bless her for this, because not many people think that, you know, she's a straight as an arrow, you know, good, kind woman or whatever from all of her actions. Look, she's been through a lot, everybody. Just think about that. Think about all of the things that she had to go through for at least 15 years, award shows, interviews, you name it. All of it was dictated by this family. Her father, come on, really? She has now a chance to do some true healing, and then be herself and be free. Truly free. The whole hashtag Free Britney, man, this defines it. She's been in these handcuffs, these emotional handcuffs, for a long time. I mean, we're just sitting here soaking on this for a moment because of the gravity of it, right? It's basically, you know, we're speechless. I'm speechless. I'm pissed. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of Britney for having gone through that and sharing her testimony, because this is going to help so many others out there that are in these situations. Whether it be family, whether it be relationship based, whether it be friends, whether it be, you insert, you know, fill the blank. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the video lines at this point. I know you guys had to, I know quite a few of you had to soak this in. So go ahead and let me know in the comments here real quick. Press 1 if you are interested in having a discussion about this. Man, it was deep. Man, I'm so pissed. Oh, I've never been this pissed in my life. Oh, okay. I may have been pissed a while back, but, you know, it's been a while. This is more like a pissed, upset, pissed, mad. And it's taking everything in me just to keep composure after listening to that. So, all right, so let's just go ahead and open up the lines, and I'm gonna go ahead and post the link in chat, and then let's get some of your guys' comments on this. It is now open. Guys, come on in, call in. I definitely would love to hear your take on this. Again, just keep in mind, we can't instill violence. Keep your composure best you can, okay? But you can definitely express your emotion. So be afraid of that. Just don't insert any violent wishes. Be careful of that. We're all thinking it, but we can't express it on here just to the sake of keeping this video up and live without getting taken down. So appreciate you guys. More coffee in me. I know it's late for a lot of you guys too, so I appreciate you hanging in there with me. I'm sure this video will probably circulate a little bit. I definitely appreciate, of course, you guys. You know the algorithm, language, like, subscribe, notification. I'm a little bit hesitant on trying to promote stuff right now. I would like to promote mental health and Britney right now, for the most part. But if you do want to see the channel grow, you know what to do. So the link is out. You know, I'm going to pin that. So the pin message should have the link to come on in and have a discussion on this. Obviously, understandable if you don't. Completely okay. Yeah. So as Loopy Miracle just said, thank you, my wonderful wife. Give her some hearts, guys. She's been so wonderful. Thank you, Gina. I love you. Yeah, so if you come in, you don't have to have the cam on, like she said. I'm fighting my emotions right now, so understandable. Yeah, it's definitely a trigger moment, guys. But if there's something you want to get off your chest, this is something that might be a good time. My Wonder Wife, my Awesome, Gene. God bless her. Give me some hearts, guys. You got to give Britney some love for this, honestly. And I wasn't even the hugest fan of her music, but that's okay. Her character right now, her being, her human being, her being, mental, physical, that is so important. Anybody, like anybody that has to go through this stuff, man, like the human decency is just so important right now. We got some. Harry, I see you're there.
Yes,
can you hear me?
brother.
Can you hear me?
How
okay?
are you?
I'm hanging in there. How about yourself?
Hanging.
Yeah.
It makes me effing sick. I mean, I must have heard this now 4 times tonight. And it gives me chills every time I listen to it. Like, how dare they?
Yeah.
Where do they get the nerve to do this to their child? I will never understand this. And I want them in jail. Every darn one of them. As of yesterday. Including Miss Innocent Jamie. Jamie Lynn. I want them all in. It was all. They all had something to do with it.
It's so emotionally frustrating. I know minimum the father's got to go behind bars to the mother. Jamie wasn't directly involved with the legal process on this, but she does bear some responsibility for stepping up for her sister, even though she doesn't legally have to, but morally, it is that much more important. So that that part, I would say I would agree.
Yeah, for sure. At least. I mean, they're all basking in, trips, and Britney's not even allowed to have money or cash. And these guys get to go wherever the heck they want. On trips galore and spend.
With her money, right? So she can't spend a single cent of this, yet her family can plan whatever vacation, whatever vehicle, house, whatever the heck they want. And here's Britney saying, they're saying to Britney, no, we're going to decide for you what you're going to have and buy and clothes. Think about this for a second. She's literally controlled on what she has to dress up in. The basic necessities about a shower. If you heard that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was just demoralizing. I mean, I could picture this and how messed up that is. That
Believe
is so
me,
messed up.
I've been there, and it's really messed up. It will make you feel like you're nothing. And yes, I've gone through that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but
yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that, Carrie. And keep in mind, guys, this is going to be a kind of a trigger sensitive video, so I'm going to definitely encourage that you take a deep breath before really listening and watching further through this, because I'm sure there's going to be a few triggers going on here. So I've been triggered through most of the video. I'll be honest with you. I want to hold it together for you guys, and I know that you guys are probably holding it together out there too. Carrie, I know you're hanging in there. I know this is not something easy to talk about or to listen to but at the same time, this needs to be talked about.
It does.
It does.
It does. Yeah. I totally agree with you. And like I said in the comments, I said, she is stronger because I know I wouldn't have been able to make it through. All those years, think about that. That's a long time. A long time.
Right.
No
Can't even
door
fathom.
on your bedroom. You like, I remember she was on the Ellen show, and they were in a mall, wherever it was, I don't know. And she remembers saying that one of those middle kiosks. She remembers saying, "Ooh, I really like that purse." And Ellen's like, "Well, get it." She's like, Brittany's like, "No, I can't." She's like, "Take it." And then Ellen made a joke like a few seconds later, like, "Oh yeah, she stole from you." And she's like, No, just joking. We'll pay for that later." And the girl's like, "Nope, don't worry about it." Like,
and this is a good point. Like, we reflect back on some of Britney's interview. This is a good example because now we can understand why she's saying, "No, we can't do that." Well, I can't. It's not. She had to put on a game face this whole time to sit, not to put her father under the bus, which, or anybody in her family, because she's probably in a non-disclosure agreement through this whole conservatorship crap.
Or made her to believe that she was.
Well, she knew she was being taken advantage of, though, pretty much at
Yeah.
the get-go. But she didn't understand it at first, but she did understand what was going on, and that was unfortunate. And how that legally was even able to be secured after the fact she was already legal of age. She wasn't in a state of a mind where she couldn't make decisions for herself. I mean, seriously, this is usually when somebody is... I mean, if you have an elder that's really struggling and they can't make decisions for themselves, for example, there's a different set of scenarios here that may apply, because that would be out of a loving situation. You want to care for that person. This is a complete flip side of the coin, where they're using it to take advantage of her. Taking advantage of her overall.
Yeah, she's their workhorse.
You know, it should be where she would be willing to help her family out. Well, like most artists out there that love their family, they'd be like, "Yeah, you know what? I love you guys. You've been so helpful, supportive, blah, blah, blah." And that's out of a giving heart, right? Whereas this is the complete opposite, the most evil, and I'm going to underscore that. That is the most evil thing that I've heard happen to somebody for 15 straight years.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. I've seen murder. I've seen cases of some bad stuff out there. All right. This is by far probably one of the worst sinful things I've ever heard through Britney. It's, you know, you really feel for her.
Yeah, I do.
What do you guys think in the comments? Give me you know what? Let's do this. Give me all the broken heart emojis that you can fill the screen up with for the next, like, 30 seconds to a minute. Just let it rip. This tells whoever's watching how messed up, how brokenhearted we are for Britney to have to go through this. And then afterwards, I'll tell you the next emoji to put in. Load up the broken heart emojis. Blow this thing up. So I want to make this more of an awareness thing. So let's fill it up. Now it's about a 15-second delay from our discussion to the chat and YouTube. So I'm gonna drink a little bit of coffee here. Try to soak up my emotions for a second.
Yeah.
Let it rip. See them broken hearts. We're all heartbroken for her right now. Heartbroken for everybody that has to go through any kind of scenario like this. Any form of domestic, family, peer-to-peer, whether it's social media, yeah.
It's sad. But good on her. Good on her hanging in.
Sorry, that was a quick freeze up there. Can everybody hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Maybe that was your computer in a way, feeling sorry for her too.
Breaking my computer's heart. That's
Yeah.
how bad this is.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Really, it's there's no words for this. I mean, there's words, but
Oh yeah.
there's not enough of them.
No. And most of them we can't say. Right here, right now.
Right. Well, thank you for your
So.
composure, Carrie. Appreciate that. I know it's tough. All right, so a lot of you threw out the broken hearts. So the next one, I'd like to go. It's technically combination of two. There's an emoji with the strong arm. You know, the one that makes the muscle, and then there should be a heart next to it, or I should say, put a heart next to it. So a strong arm and a heart in the chat. This is to reflect how strong and supportive we are for Britney having survived this, and that she is now free to move forward and heal with her life. So God bless her. Give her that strong arm. Give her the hearts, guys. Let's fill that up. Let's fill this chat up. Give it to her, man. She needs the love and support. Let's blow it up. Let's show that support. And this is also kind of reflective for all of us that survived through these kind of traumas. So really, this is for everybody that has been through such chaotic, traumatic events in your life. So give yourself what you deserve. Love, and you definitely get the support from the Gauche community here. So you deserve it. Absolutely. Whew, man. So I was going to talk about the MTV Music Awards, but honestly, after that, and that was another thing too, is Britney didn't even want. I saw an article too that she didn't agree to appear on the show because she didn't explain it into the why. But you can tell after listening to this, after she put this podcast out, and she stated too, you know, she doesn't want to do interviews with everybody because there would be so much to talk about that it would be like several interview segments. Number one. Number two, it's so sensitive of a topic for some networks out there that they may not even be able to air it. So there's that.
True.
So I applaud Britney. She didn't have to force herself to go on in the MTV Music Awards tonight and have to prove herself to anyone.
No.
She does, and I am an advocate for emotional healing. For me, for example, it took me probably 2 to 3 years just to come back to a form of normal after what I had to go through. So for all of you out there that had experienced these things domestically, family, peer-to-peer, whatever, you understand how long it takes to actually heal from this. And to be completely frank, we don't completely 100% heal, but we do heal to the point where we can tell our testimony and help others heal.
Agreed.
So we do come to a point of normal. So Brittany at this point may have to take a year to 2 years just to process all of this. She just got out of this conservatorship, but what, 2 months, a month and a half ago, I think it was early July. I don't know the exact date, but it was fairly recent. So she herself is processing all of this, and now she realizes, wow, I can carry a water bottle without having to ask for permission. I can have a pack of gum and not worry about, hey, is that healthy for you? Oh, you can't or can eat that. You can't decide for yourself. I mean, but really. So now she gets all of this back. All of it. All of it. She owns her life. Like she should have in the first place. So now she has to grasp these realities. And I agree with you, Loopy Miracle. It heals people differently. Thank you, honey. For every testimony given. So you may be able to relate to this story. And I think this story from this podcast from Brittany actually tells almost like a lot of it kind of combined for all of us. It really just, man, it's so deep for everybody because we all can relate. All right, so I'll just kind of stop there for a moment. I don't want to keep this going on too late, so I do want to, however, get you guys included on chat. Do you have any comments out there, everybody, that you want to leave? If not, that's fine. Like I said, the link for the video chat is open. I'll leave it open here for a little longer. Throw the link out real quick one more time if you want to come on in. And there she goes into the chat. So if you do wish to join, you can. All right. So another thing I'm going to start doing too is I'm going to kind of preface this, the week coming up. So we're going to have some new show times for the Gauche. Sorry, I'm umming a lot right now because the fact I'm still processing all of this that happened earlier through Brittany. So we're going to be moving to, not moving, but we're going to be adding Mondays, Wednesdays, lunch rush at 12 noon. I don't know if we're going to be starting lunch rush tomorrow, right? And technically today for some of us. But Wednesdays coming up. And I'm pretty sure we'll be kicking that off on Wednesday at noon. We will still be doing the Friday night Midnight Madnesses at midnight Eastern Standard Time, as well as the lunch rush the following Saturday for 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well, which usually always leads into our wonderful brother-in-arms, Temp, and his live stream. So just a heads up. So Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, we'll have lunch rush live streams, 12 Eastern Standard Time, except for today. But
well, that's awesome news.
Yeah. So we're gonna pick things up a little bit. On top of that, we're gonna be sharing things like this. For example, this was to me really important news because it affects a lot of people out there. All right, so it looks like we're kind of dwindling down. We'll just go ahead and start closing shop then, guys. But thank you so much for your support. Thank you for tuning in this late. A lot of you are watching the MTV Awards. I heard it was pretty good, but I didn't get to watch it, unfortunately. But with that said, yes, emotional, but these are kind of the stories that we want to cover. We want to be able to contribute to the community, have fun too. You know, this might be emotionally triggering for some, but not all of our videos are like this. So again, this was a very important video, so this definitely needed to be talked about. But typically what we'll have is games. We'll have, you know, just involvement in the community, talking to you guys, bringing you in here. We'll talk maybe about an event that took place or some sort of story out there, whether it's celebrity based or if there's a missing person, you name it. I'll probably include it into some chat and then maybe some trivia or something. But usually we just have fun and communicate. The point is we want to grow the community in the Gauche. Just simply means we're socially awkward and fun. So don't let that word fool you. Awkwardness is fun. And it has meaning. Community has a lot of meaning too. So including you, it also means love. Okay. So that's our goal going forward. All right, everybody. Carrie, do you have any last words you want to throw up there before we start closing shop?
Just that I applaud you, brother, for, you know, covering this, being what you went through. I applaud you, and I do agree with you that it had to be put out there. It has to be talked about. And I just love your channel, and I love your people. And
Thanks.
Gina. I love Gina.
She's
awesome.
Right. I'm going to give you guys a little extra time here just because I want to give some love for Gina. She's been an amazing person. Not enough words to say how amazing she is. She's my Wonder Woman. So give her some hearts in the chat, guys. Give her some hearts. Give her some love. Give her some support. She's been incredible. So incredible. Let's see some hearts. Let's see those hearts. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Mara. Tammy, thank you. Carrie, thank you. You guys are amazing. This community is amazing. We're gonna keep it growing. I'm gonna throw out my link tree real quick. If you want to head to that, it does have our Cash App as well as PayPal. If you have a PayPal account, you can donate through there if you want. And we do go through Patreon as well for monthly support. That just helps the channel grow, helps build up, prevent hopefully more freeze ups like this that we had tonight. But and it also has other channels. We have a new Telegram channel, which you can become a part of the community. It's just it's called the Gauche. And stay tuned. Temp, me, and Paige are going to probably make an announcement on a potential community channel. Again, that's just hearsay for the moment, but stay tuned for any announcements there. But in the meantime, we do have a Telegram channel called The Gauche, which is included in that link tree as well. You can also support Temp and Paige on that link tree as well. At the bottom, there is a link for them. But on that note, Carrie, thank you so much for coming in to chat with me today.
Of course.
I appreciate you. And you, all of you, it's tuned in with chat. Thanks for hanging out with me and this emotional roller coaster. So we'll switch it. Whoops. There we go. We'll switch it. That was graphic and content, sure. switch it up here real quick. Yes, please like, subscribe, and get that notification bell tick. That does help the algorithm of the channel grow. But really, thank you for being supportive of the channel and of each other. Your morals come from here. Don't let your emotions guide your morals. Your morals are guided by this. If you let your emotions guide everything, then morally we're just irresponsible. So, with that said, everybody have a wonderful night. And Zaiden out.